Segment 3 of the first chapter of the textbook Behavioral Neuroscience includes questions about how the brain and behavior are related. Some examples of research topics that the book gives are: how does the brain grow, maintain, and repair itself over the lifespan? What brain sites and activities underlie feelings and emotional expression? And why are different brain regions active during different language tasks? So these topics explore the relationship between the brain and behavior. And the book also notes that it can be difficult to understand how the brain causes these subjective experiences. The next section of the text, under the headline, "The Study of Neuroscience Contributes to Our Understanding of Human Disorders," shows how prevalent mental disorders are in the population. So it points to a European survey that estimates that at least 38% of the population suffers from a mental disorder at some point in a given year. It also points to the National Advisory of Mental Health, which has estimated that the direct and indirect costs of behavioral and brain disorders amount to about $400 billion each year in the United States. And lastly, it points to the World Health Organization, which has estimated that over 15% of all disease burden in terms of lost productivity is due to mental disorders. This section also briefly touches on schizophrenia and how the discovery of the structural differences in the brain between twins, one of which having schizophrenia and the other one not, how this affects scientists' viewpoints and further questions about brain structural differences. And it also explains why animal research is necessary in cases like this to examine and analyze the differences in brain structure and how that affects behavior. And that last point takes us to the last section under the headline, "Animal Research Makes Vital Contributions." This section explains why animal research is so important to psychological research and the study of how brain structure and behavior are related. And it also explains the different viewpoints towards animal research. So it points to the National Research Council, which found that 93% of mammals used in research are rodents, and that most Americans agree animal research should continue as long as scientists design experiments to minimize the suffering of animals involved in the experiments. It also explains the argument against animal research, that it is unethical and can only be justified if the experiment actually produces beneficial results. It shows the history of the small minority of Americans that have protested animal research and explains that these protests have been surprisingly violent and aggressive, even leading to extremes of scientists involved in animal research experiments, their houses being vandalized, and that scientists themselves being terrorized by this minority. But it also provides a hopeful outlook that robots may one day replace animals in research so that animals do not have to be harmed in any way. But all in all, animal research is very important to psychological research and the study of the human brain.